the screen. This 11, no, it's Prabhu, it is till 2019 we have done it. 19 also we have done it, Prabhu. Anyway, I put the wrong number. You wrote down, next time you note down, and then you should not, you don't have to be unsure. Okay. Oh, okay, let's start with this 20th. No, 30th also we have done it. Twenty-first one we have to do. No, this also we have done it. 22nd we have to do. रुद्रादित्या वसवो ये च साध्या विश्वेश्विनो मरुतशोष्म पाशा गंधर्वर्य साक्षुर सिद्ध संगा वीक्षन्ते त्वां विस्मिताश्चैव सर्वे. All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Aditya, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, Vishwadevas, and the two Ashvaji, the Marutas, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder. Rupam Mahatte Bahuvakta Netram Mahabaho Bahubahurupadam Bahudaram Bahudashtankaralam Dashtra Loka Pravithitatas. Almighty arm, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form, with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I. नवस्पृशं दिष्टमनेकवर्ण व्यात्ताननं दीप्तिविशालनेत्रं दृष्ट्वा हि त्वां प्रव्यथितान्तरात्मा धृतिं न विन्दामि शमं च विष्णो. O all-pervading Vishnu, as I see you with your many radiant colors touching the sky, your gaping mouths and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind. दुष्टाकरालानि चत्ते मुखानि दृष्टे कलाना सरसमिमनमानि दिशो न जाने न लभे न च शर्मा प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवासा. And says, O Lord of Lords, O Refuse of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance, seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. In all directions, I am bewildered. अमी च त्वां धृतराष्ट्रस्य पुत्राः सर्वे सहैवावनिपालसङ्गै भीष्मो द्रोणासूतपुत्रस्तथासौ सहास्मदीयैरपि योधमुख्यैः वक्तानि ते त्वर्माणा विशन्ति दंष्टाकरालानि भयानकानि केचिद्लग्ना दशनान्तरेषु सदृश्यन्ते चूर्णिरतैर्माङ्गैः. Translation: all the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their elite kings and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers are rushing into your fearful mouths. And some I see trapped with heads smashed within your teeth. Purport: in abuse, as the Lord promised to show Arjuna things he would be very interested in seeing. Now Arjuna sees that the leaders of the opposite party, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and all the sons of Dhritarashtra and their soldiers and Arjuna's own soldiers are being annihilated. This is an indication that after the death of nearly all the persons assembled at Kurukshetra, Arjuna will emerge victorious. It is also mentioned here that Bhishma, who is supposed to be unconquerable, will also be smashed. So also Karna. Not only will the great warriors of the other party like Bhishma be smashed, but some of the great warriors of Arjuna's side also. Yatha nadina bahavo muvega samudrameva vimukhā dravanti तथा तवामी नरलोकवीरा विशन्ति भक्ताभिज्वलन्ति भक्रान्ति अभिज्वलन्ति अभिविज्वलन्ति. As the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter into your blazing mouths. यथा प्रदीप्तं जलनं पतंगा विशन्ति नाशाय समुद्रवेगा तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकान् स्तवापि भक्तानि समुद्रवेगा. यथा प्रदीप्तं जलनं पतंगा विशन्ति नाशाय समृद्धवेगा तथैव नाशाय विशन्ति लोकान् स्तवापि भक्तानि समृद्धवेगाः. I see all people rushing full speed into your mouth as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire. Lily यसे ग्रस्मा न समन्ताल लोकान् समग्रान् वदनैर जलद्भिः तेजोभिरापूर्य जगत् समग्रं भासस्तवोग्राः प्रतपनी विष्णु. O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible scorching rays. आख्यानि मे को भवानुग्र रूपो नमोस्तु ते देववर प्रसीदा विज्ञातुमिच्छामि भवन्तमाद्यं नहि प्रजानामि तव प्रवृत्तिम्. O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. You are the primal Lord. I want to know about you, for I do not know what your mission is. श्री भगवान उवाच कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षयाकृत् प्रवृद्धो लोकान् समाहर्तुमिव प्रवृत्तः ऋतेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे येव स्थिता प्रत्यनीकेषु योधाः. The Supreme Authority Godhead said, I am the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people, with the exception of you, the Pandavas. All the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. Purport: although Arjuna knew that Krishna was his friend and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was puzzled by the various forms exhibited by Krishna. Therefore, he asked further about the actual mission of the devastating force. It is written in the Vedas that the Supreme Truth destroys everything, even the Brahmanas, as stated in the Katha Upanishad 1.2.25. Yasya Brahma Chaksharam Cha Ube Bhavata Odanaha Mrityuryasyopasachetanam Ka Ittha Veda Yatra Saha. Eventually, all the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and everyone else are devoured like a meal by the Supreme. This form of the Supreme Lord is the all-devouring giant, and here Krishna presents himself in that form of all-devouring giant. Except for a few Pandavas, everyone who was present on the battlefield would be devoured by him. Arjuna was not in favor of the fight, and he thought it was better not to fight. Then there would be no frustration. In reply, the Lord is saying that even if he did not fight, every one of them would be destroyed, for that was his plan. If Arjuna start fighting, they would die in another way. Death could not be checked, even if he did not fight. In fact, they were already dead. Time is destruction, and all manifestations are to be vanquished by the desire of the Supreme Lord. That is the law of nature. So this is a very beautiful series of purports going on. So then he says this wonderful verse. Tasmat samutishta yasho labhasva jitva shatrun bhuksham rajyam samriddham mayevate nihita purvameva nimittamatram bhava savyasachin. Therefore get up, prepare to fight and win glory, conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Sabyasachi, can be put an instrument in the fight. Can be but an instrument in the fight. Purport. Sabyasachi refers to one who cannot shoot arrows very expertly in the field. Thus, Arjuna is addressed as an expert warrior capable of delivering arrows to kill his enemies. Just become an instrument. Nimitta matram. This word is also very significant. The whole world is moving according to the plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Foolish persons who do not have sufficient knowledge think that nature is moving without a plan, and all manifestations are but accidental formations. There are many so-called scientists who suggest that perhaps it was like this or maybe like that, but there is no question of perhaps and maybe. There is chance. There is a specific plan being carried out in this material world. What is this plan? This cosmic manifestation is a chance for the conditioned souls to go back to Godhead, back to home. As long as they have the domineering mentality which makes them try to lord it over material nature, they are conditioned. But anyone who can understand the plan of the Supreme Lord and cultivate Krishna consciousness is most intelligent. The creation and destruction of the cosmic manifestation are under the superior guidance of God. The battle of Kurukshetra was fought according to the plan of God. Arjuna was refusing to fight, but he was told that he should fight in accordance with the desire of the Supreme Lord. Then he would be happy. If one is in full Krishna consciousness, and his life is devoted to the Lord's transcendental service, he is perfect. So very beautiful verses going on here. So he's saying that Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and other great parts have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight, and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. Every plan is made by the Supreme Personality Godhead, but he's also kind and merciful to his devotees, that he wants to give the credit to his devotees who carry out his plan according to his desire. Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karnam, Tasana, Dhunam, Maya Sasam Dahi, Mahavitishta, Yuddha Sujeta, Siranetam, Sabat. He says, he wants to give the credit to his devotees who carry out his plan according to his desire. Life should therefore move in such a way that everyone acts in Krishna consciousness and understands the Supreme Personality Godhead through the medium of his spiritual master. The plans of the Supreme Personality Godhead are understood by his mercy, and the plans of the devotees are as good as his plans. One should follow such plans and victorious in the struggle for existence. So one thing, let's see what he says. Sabyasachi means who can fight ambidextrously with either hand, left or right. Krishna therefore encourages Arjuna to use all his skills to fight without pride, because Purvameva, a previous arrangement, not because of Arjuna's skill, the warriors are as good as dead. Who will win the battle? So here Krishna says, Jetas, you will conquer. Satyavata Arjuna will be victorious. Krishna also adds Jayadratha's name to the three warriors already mentioned, although he is not as popular as others. Jayadratha was given a boon Lord Shiva to stop Pandavas once. Because Arjuna knows this, he is concerned about Jayadratha. Krishna assures Arjuna that his concern is unwarranted. So what is Krishna's destructive form? Kalrupa time. What is the mission of Kalrupa? Destruction of all the soldiers except the Pandavas. Srila Prabhupada writes, the Lord is saying that even if Arjuna did not fight, every one of them would be destroyed, for that was his plan. If Arjuna started fighting, they would die in another way. Death could not be checked, even if he did not fight. In fact, they were already dead. Arjuna cannot save anyone's life by not fighting, but he has a choice whether or not to participate in the battle. Krishna, however, wants Arjuna to perform his duty. Even though the opposition is already dead, he wishes Arjuna to fight as his instrument. So it's a very beautiful series of verses, what we read today. So some of the things in 2-3 lines I'll just try to summarize, or some reflection of mine on these verses. So you can see that many times we forget in our life there is a Krishna factor. Krishna factor is forgotten many times. So we go on with our life, trying to make a lot of arrangements. Lot of things we try to make arrangement, and we have a lot of anxieties and fears. But one thing we have to learn from this verse is that actually we are very tiny, very, very tiny. Our existence is very tiny, very insignificant. And Krishna factor is a very big factor. So when we face difficulties and challenges in our life or in our services, in our duties in Krishna consciousness, we have to know one thing. All these difficulties and challenges are temporary phases. It's not permanent phase, it's temporary phase, because they are there today, gone today. Last life, you had some difficulties. In this body, you have another set of difficulties. This keeps changing. That won't remain same. People in your life will not remain same. The difficulties which comes in your life will not remain same. The challenges which comes in your life will not remain same. The mind, the way it puts you trouble, it also keeps changing. So this all things will be changing in this world. So a devotee of the Lord unnecessarily doesn't put so much of attention to try to set right the problem. What he tries to put attention is to elevate his Krishna consciousness. So sometimes mind is so tricky, it can just make the person so bewildered, confused, illusion, So it's a big trap of mind. So you see, most of the people in this world, they're suffering not because of external disturbances. It is because of their own mind only. And this is what Avanti Brahmana says. The only problem in this world is my own mind, not the karma of my mind. Even our karma is bad, let's say something comes up. If we have become Krishna conscious, mind is controlled, we won't suffer, you see. So different varieties of miserable situations will come, but suffering is optional. Whether you'll suffer or not depends upon your consciousness. So intelligent person will not blame the karma, will not blame the situation, will not blame anything. But my own mind I have to rectify. And there is a way to do it. What is the way to do it? You focus on Krishna consciousness. Because if you focus on Krishna consciousness, gradually you will lose grip of the mind from you, because mind is holding on to the soul and making him miserable actually. So we have to identify this point that I am not my mind, I'm not my feelings, which mind puts on. the greedy, envious, lusty, illusory. It's all feelings and all this, emotions. They're not. We have. One should be able to see separate from them. One should be able to see himself separate from them. And then, and not. It is not just kind of some dry objective and observation of our separate from mind. It's actually an active engagement in Krishna consciousness. So we have to actually actively engage ourselves in the Krishna conscious activities by on reading scriptures, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and engaging in a variety of services. By doing that, one will able to see himself separate from mind, separate from body, separate from intelligence. You can clearly see yourself more and more, because soul has its own spiritual existence. We are not with our mind and body and ego and intelligence and all that. We are separate from this all. So our greatest trouble is identification. And once you identify with mind, and the mind is left to so many varieties of concoctions, there is a horror movie goes on like that. So you might think about this, like somebody goes in the movie theater, and the movie theater, he identifies himself with the hero, heroine, and so many things. He wants the hero to be win, and then villain comes and attacks. And fellow cries also. He cries. He feels happy. He feels horrified. Sometimes horror movie people see how much they can go through the emotions. You can see. But a foolish Jiva, he doesn't understand that it's a movie theater going on. It's all movies are all like nothing, no significance to his real life. When he goes outside, it has no significance to his life. But he's crying tears. He's having so much of emotional turmoil. All this is happening because of identification. It's a very good example actually. So just like when we enter a movie theater and we forget that actually I have a real life, which is beyond all this illusory things going on in this TV screen. Same way, when we enter this material world, we also get absorbed in the movie of this world. And then you think I am this, I am that, and we undergo so many emotional trauma. You can see in this world like that. So that's why one has to carefully understand that how I'm separate from all this. And then when we are executing our duties, we have to know, my endeavor is only one part of it. The results in Krishna's hand. So what things are going to happen to me is not in my hand. It's completely in Krishna's hand. What I'm going to get result is not in my hand, in Krishna's hand. When will I, when my health will be completely all right? It's not in my hand, in Krishna's hand. When will my mind stop troubling me? It's not in my hand, it's in Krishna's hand. What I can do is, I can be Krishna conscious. That is in my hand. My death is not in my hand. My health is not in my hand. My finances is not in my hand. The people, how they're going to deal with me is not in my hand. What is in my hand? In my hand it is, I can take responsibility of my Krishna. That I can do. No matter how much your mind is troubling, you can still chant. No matter how much mind is, your people are troubling you, still you can read. That much we have to do. And this is all philosophy for that purpose only. The problem is that when we have this kind of situations, then we cannot, we are not trying to focus on chanting. Then we are compromising our duties in Krishna consciousness. So that's why we are discussing that this thing we have to continue, no matter what. And Prabhupada says in second chapter, upheavals in this world is going to be there because this world is designed like that. You cannot stop it. Upheavals is going to be there. But what you can do is, you can have your own anchor. What is that anchor? Anchor of your Krishna consciousness. That is going to be a saving grace for us, like that. So we have to create that anchor very strong by our daily spiritual sadhana. And with faith and with seriousness, sincerity, we should do that. And don't expect results immediately, because it's not that you have to immediately get some kind of divine experience and things like that. You have to understand this takes time, and you have to invest your energy. You have to invest your intent. You keep doing your part. Don't worry about the results. That anchor what you're trying to build, it's a permanent effect. It has a long-lasting impact. That we have to work on, because that is only going to be saving grace for us. It's like a boat in an ocean. You have to be in a boat, and boat should be anchored well. Otherwise, the wind and so many upheavals can just take away the boat in any direction. You never know. So that's why the boat has to be anchored when it's in that kind of turmoil of the ocean. The waves are going up and down, going to have that kind of effect. That kind of thing is going to be there. So our anchor should be strong. That's the only thing we can do nicely. And once you do that, take shelter of Krishna, then very easily you can cross this ocean of birth and death. It becomes very easy for you. Otherwise, it is going to be horror movie for us. So that's why creating that sacred space in our life where we are trying to make this anchor very strong, because that anchor is going to give us that stability in our Krishna consciousness, and gradually it will happen. You don't have to like immediately become. So that's why three things I told. Enthusiasm, you can note down this point. Enthusiasm, patience, determination. Or enthusiasm, determination, or confidence, and patience. So we should always be enthusiastic for our devotional service, devotional duties, no matter what. Then we should have confidence that we should have full faith, that yes, Shraddha, Shraddha, Vishaya, Sadhirna Vishaya. Krishna Bhakti Kaile, Sarva Karma Kaile. This is the highest thing I should do. They're actually building my anchor. So determination and confidence should be there. And third thing is patience. After all that, one should be patient. One should not be very impatient to get quick results like that. So sometimes, we are wanting to be controller. Even when trying to take shelter of Krishna also. We have to know, I can try to take shelter of Krishna, but I'm not the controller. I cannot control Krishna to give him mercy. That is up to Krishna. But you are doing the right thing. That we should be confident about. And that we should be satisfied about. That I am doing the right thing. That's what I can do. Circle of influence, circle of concern. So I can only do what I can have influence on. I have influence on that I, from my own heart, can take shelter of Krishna. Circle of concern, will Krishna protect me? Will Krishna reduce my suffering and all that? We don't have to worry about. Because that aspect taking shelter itself will give you, deep satisfaction and nourishment. You will see that gradually. Then you will not even demand Krishna. Krishna, do this for me, do that for me. You'll understand that just by taking shelter of Krishna only, you become happy and satisfied. That itself nourishes you. Kunti Maharani even prays that you give me more sufferings, because that helps me to take a shelter. And when I take shelter of yours, everything is wonderful because I am feeling nourished. Like that. So that realization will come eventually. And we don't want to demand anything. We only want to serve Krishna, take his shelter. That kind of idea of life we get gradually. So the whole focus should be how can I take shelter of the Lord. And we don't want to control Krishna. Whenever Krishna wants to rectify certain things, he can rectify. Whenever Krishna wants to purify my mind, he can purify. But I can continue taking shelter of Krishna with all my effort, with all my heart. That I can do. And it's up to Krishna. Whenever Krishna, and Krishna is merciful. Krishna is very much, wanting. So one devotee was saying, Prabhu, when I'm doing so much, I'm trying to chant, but still Krishna is not helping me. Why? Why? No, sorry, Krishna is not reciprocating with me. I'm chanting, still Krishna. My spiritual master said, Krishna is reciprocating with you by not reciprocating, apparently. So that you increase your intensity. So that you don't take Krishna cheaply just for the sake of some kind of gain. You serve Krishna in that eternal relationship of love. So Krishna wants us to come to the platform of unconditional love. That's why sometimes Krishna purposely may not reciprocate just to teach us that lesson. Are you doing this chanting, reading, hearing and all just for gaining advantage from me? You just want some peace? Just want freedom from anxieties? Just want your own some spiritual advancements that you can be happy? That is not the real platform. So one should actually look for only Krishna's pleasure. When we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna is pleased. So we chant. Very simple. So this attitude develops gradually. So Krishna, when he is not apparently reciprocating, that time also is reciprocating by not giving you some ecstasy, so that you remain fixed on this mood of that Krishna is pleased when I am chanting, even though I am not getting anything out of it, apparently. But Krishna is pleased. So that itself will give you that fulfillment and nourishment. Amazingly, it happens. It's a paradox. So the more you look for your own gratification, even in terms of spiritual life also, spiritual gratification, I should get ecstasy and tears. So that degree, Krishna actually is not so pleased. But when you're looking for Krishna's pleasure, when you're chanting only because Krishna is pleased, that is a very good platform actually. So gradually we have to come to that path. So we have to be simply, instrument in Krishna's plan. Know what is Krishna has a beautiful plan for me, and Krishna has a beautiful plan ahead. Only thing we should try to be instrument of Krishna. We should sincerely take his shelter. That's all. Everything is arranged by the Lord. We don't have to worry about anything. Because even if you worry about it, you cannot do, because you're not the controller. So Krishna is the supreme controller. So you can only do is just take his shelter. And leave up to Krishna. But the way Krishna wants to take your life ahead. That is up to completely Krishna. You have to die early, you will die early. You have to have some issues in your health, you can continue. It's up to Krishna. It's Krishna and Krishna only. I will only take shelter of Krishna. And that actually assures your bright future anyway. Because anybody takes shelter of Krishna, he has a 100% bright future. It doesn't matter. Jatayu took shelter of Lord Rama, even though he died, his future was bright. How? He got elevation to the Ayodhya Dham. Ramchandra himself did Antim Samskar. Even death doesn't matter for a devotee. Because for a devotee, he takes shelter of the Lord, he's completely safe. His soul is safe. So that's understanding we should have. So we should simply try to be, in that, instrument mode. That I have to simply just do my part of taking shelter of Krishna. And whatever my duties in Krishna consciousness, let me do as an instrument. Krishna has a plan. That is up to Krishna. So let me do my part as much as possible, best way I can do. And in the mood of, I'm just doing instrument. Just the Prabhupada said, Nachao, Nachao, Prabhu, Nachao, Nachao, Samartha. Prabhupada had the same mood. He did not think that, I'm going to create some big things. He just thought, I just simply try to serve and satisfy my Guru. Let me put an attempt. And Krishna reciprocated that way. And Prabhupada, 40 years he tried, not much reciprocation was there. Prabhupada still continued to try because he was not on the platform of just trying to please Krishna and his Guru. And when Krishna reciprocated, that time also he was simple. He was not proud also. This is a platform we need in our education or devotional service. So at least we can try to have that platform. Gradually, we can try to keep that in mind that this is what actually pure devotional service I should aspire for. Okay, so I'll pause here. Any reflection?
Yeah, I can start. I think one reflection that I had was in the earlier verses when it was said like Krishna has already decided what will happen, and so Arjuna has to fight. And I think for me, my realization was like it's already decided what has to happen, but up to me is how much I go through it with Krishna consciousness, and that's the only thing I can do. So
Correct. Yes.
yeah, I think that helped me a lot.
Yeah, we should plan our spiritual life. Better life, we don't have to too much worry about it.
Mm.
You see, I have seen in my life so many of my friends, this and that. I mean, most of them got married. Many of them might be worrying, but they got married. Some then children, they also grow up. Their college, that also happens. Material life goes on. You don't have to worry about it much. Worry about spiritual life. Spiritual life hardly we worry about. Spiritual life doesn't go on its own. We have to put effort.
Mm.
Material life goes on its own. Doesn't do like my body is growing. Prasadam, anyway I'll take tomorrow also I'll take prasadam. I know, but reading, hearing, chanting, that I have to decide because it
Mm.
doesn't happen on its own. I have to really put effort. For other maintenance of the body and family, it's going to happen anyway. Anyway, you will do. People will make you do. You plan for a spiritual life. That is very important. Material life, anyway, people will force us to plan. But spiritual life, we have to plan and consciously take that push and do something in that direction. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Abhat Prabhu. Any other reflection? Virat Prabhu, Arya Prabhu, Srinivasan Prabhu, anything you want to share? One point?
Hare Krishna. I think my reflection is similar to Abbas Prabhu, that we try to make a lot of things happen, but in the end, Krishna is the one that's deciding our fate for us, and we're so fortunate that we got in contact with an association with devotees for us to understand and realize Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Virat Prabhu, Srinivasan Prabhu. Go ahead, one of you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Thank you so much for this class. And my reflection is, miseries is unavoidable, but suffering is optional. It all depends on whether we are engaging our mind in the devotional service towards Krishna or not.
Yes, correct. That's what it said, no? You should not get disturbed by disturbances. That is only possible. Take shelter of Krishna. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Virat Prabhu, you want to share any point?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I was just in reflection on how we misidentify ourselves with the mind, our mind, and our body, and our bodily conceptions of life. And instead, as you said, we should be focusing on our identification with Krishna, and instead of any material conceptions of identity. For me, that was a deep point.
And that example of movie was very good, no?
Oh yeah, the movie. Yeah, that's it.
You get lost into that. But see, there's nothing, what actually actual life, nothing is related to him, but he got so much emotionally affected. Sometimes child have seen the cry also. Who start crying so many things. Yeah. Okay. So thank you all very much. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.